In July, the government announced that Liverpool City Region would become a life sciences investment zone. The investment zone announcement is just the beginning, and today we will discuss how Liverpool and the wider city region can make the most of this opportunity to drive economic growth and multiply many times over the £100 million the government is providing to kick things off. Today I'm joined by a panel of experts who all have a role in making the investment zone a success. So let's hear what they think.
Something that I think is very much alive in the Liverpool City region is that strong partnership approach. So not looking at this as something that the private sector is going to do or the public sector is going to do or industry is going to do on its own. It's about that collaborative coming together of all those component parts. And you see that with the Metro Mayor and the support he's giving, the local authorities in terms of their leadership, in terms of being really strong in that space, the sector itself coming forward and saying, this is something that we want to do. And I think when you get that coming together of strong strategic intent and really strong partnership working, then I think you've got the raw ingredients to see a really successful city region in this space.
The investment zone is a real collaboration and partnership between not just the combined authority and local authorities. It is about working with partners in Cytec Daresbury, the Knowledge Quarter, the NHS, pharma businesses, SMEs. So we have established a steering group with all those partners represented, and they are helping co-design and co-shape the proposition, developing projects to invest in through this 160 million over 10 years. So collaboration is absolutely fundamental to the success of the investment zone, and it has been the thing that I've enjoyed most about the project.
10 years' time, I think something that's really, really important and something we've got to do better and we've got to fix it now. We lose a lot of our young professionals for their second careers at the moment. So between the ages of 25 to 40, we tend to lose them and then we get them back. So for me, it would be a city that is marketed to young professionals coming to start their careers here. We talked about skills and it's all been around entry level, but actually us really looking at that middle, those mid-management positions that are all going to open up because of the investment zone. So looking at our young professionals now, well, in 10 years' time, they should be in management positions, senior positions, and they should have come through a sort of infrastructure where they've got a voice at the table and they've helped to shape it.
So for me, it's about scalability. And I think, from our experience at Cytec Daresbury, we've talked about Home for Life as a philosophy in terms of creating not only infrastructure and facilities that allows businesses to get started, but actually can grow and scale, but also then remain within the Liverpool City region. I'm delighted to say that with the investment zone, it's also looking at this is not just about investment into laboratory facilities and supporting the growth of those companies, but actually then how might that translate into manufacturing within the Liverpool City region. And actually we gain even more economic benefit from actually making the products that we've developed in the laboratories in the city region by actually manufacturing.
I think we need to consider how the investment zone projects will sort of find talent, and then I think about how that will deliver the impact with regards to skills for the future as well. Working more with schools and colleges and universities to develop these STEM skills that are going to be required in the next 5 to 10 years. I think it's going to be quite important.
Life science is a multifaceted endeavour, and facilities have got to surpass those traditional setups, I think, in order to foster a culture of collaboration between disciplines. So rather than just solely focusing on laboratory kind of based bench work, buildings and campuses need to cater for science applications, a variety of science applications, and we need to develop buildings, campuses and clusters that support wider innovation. So, maybe what people would see them as unrelated sectors, so media, manufacturing, textiles, chemical engineering, across the wider region, they're there. And I think that's where those happy accidents happen, don't they, in science? When we actually have spin out where we're touching the other industries and harnessing the wider power of the region.
I think we're having to do a lot more in terms of
going in and working with skills because of the skills gaps that we're seeing, particularly as obviously there's a lot more innovation now being driven into construction, but also into life sciences. In particular for us, obviously there's been a big step change with the climate and sustainability agenda and what have you, but that's not actually being driven into curriculum. So I think there does need to be a bit of a business working alongside academia to see where those gaps are.
But I think it's about half the city centre is part of the knowledge quarter now. So in terms of how we ensure that placemaking does nothing but amplify that global brand and kind of enable that. So that the whole role of placemaking in kind of attracting businesses to locate there, attract the talent, attract the people who want to work in Liverpool city centre, and attract that future investment for when businesses are looking at where to locate across the country. They're going, this is the best place to be.
We don't just need labs in the city centre, we need labs in urban locations as well. We need labs that are co-located with office space so people can do their R&D in the same spaces. It's more than just let's build a load of labs. It's having that strategic focus, that spatial focus about how it all links together. And going back to Kate's point on the placemaking, where it was about building labs, is not just, sometimes we forget about the people who work in them. You know, they're not just people in lab coats, they also want good transport, they want, places they can go for something to. We've got to create destinations around these lab buildings as well. So the investment zone unlocks the absolute crucial need we've got for labs as a starting point. But it also brings forward developments like the Fabric District. It brings forward developments, it might bring forward like Upper Central. There's other areas of the city and the city region that will now come forward because of the investment zone.